What do you reckon you weigh right now?
Par 200.
What? What? UFC star Paddy the Paddy Pimblett has once again blown up to 200 pounds by his own word. You can see his face. He looks like Peter Griffin. No disrespect to Paddy. I'm not trying to be a douchebag here, but I'm going to call it like I see it. He looks like Peter Griffin's son, doesn't he? He's got that same shape. He's got the same coloring. And he might have the same intellect because Paddy the Paddy Pimblett, Paddy is a good fighter. Is he a great fighter? We have no idea. We don't know yet. He's got 3 wins in the UFC, and that's a tough feat for anyone. But he hasn't beat anyone that you remember. Of the 3 people Paddy's fought, maybe you remember one name. You don't remember anybody else. You don't even remember those performances, really. All you remember is Paddy looking the way he looks right now, saying he weighs 200 pounds and bragging about overeating and indulging. The purpose of me ranting right here is the 4-time World MMA Trainer of the Year, Hall of Fame weight management coach. #1 best-selling author. I've worked with the world's greatest athletes for over 20 years, closer to 30 years right now if I'm going to age myself. So I'm speaking from the point of experience. When we see massive lapses in discipline, such as Paddy is showing right now, when we see massive 50-pound fluctuations in body mass multiple times per year, we know definitively what the end result will be: a shortened career. Shortened career. The athlete's ego peaks well before their athletic ability, and that's an unfortunate thing. Now, we see this in the NFL, we see it in the NBA, we see it in MLB, we see it in most professional sports. An athlete gets a little bit of shine, a little bit of attention, a little bit of promotion, a little bit of money, and their excesses, their ego gets highlighted and unfortunately becomes very destructive. Now, UFC president Dana White also shared his exact thoughts on the Paddy situation. Let me cue it up for you and play it here.
He's going to have to lose some weight.
Actually, what do you make of his weight fluctuation? He said he was 200 pounds on Saturday night. What do you make of the fact that he blows up and blows down in between fights?
It's not good for you. You know, I mean, we all know that. We know that fluctuating and cutting that much weight is very bad. And it definitely doesn't prolong your career. You know, it's tough on your body and your organs and stuff like that. But listen, he's a grown man. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do. You know, it makes it tough for us too, because when we're in the matchmaking room, we want to throw together a fight. Maybe we could throw him on a card in a month and a half. It hurts us too. We have to be very specific when we plan fights for him, because he's nowhere near close to weight. And what you don't want to do is put that kind of pressure on him to cut that much weight in that short amount of time. So,
do you ever have do you think you'll one day have a conversation with him about, like, okay, you're now getting older?
That's none of my business, man. That's all up to him. You know, if this guy, you know, likes food, listen, he's preaching to the preacher over here. I like food too, so I get it.
Get him on Fuck It Friday.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, that's totally up to him, man. It's his life, it's his career, it's his body. He can do whatever he wants.
Well, Dana said it, and I agree with what he said at the end. It's his life, it's his career. He can do whatever he wants, but he probably won't become a UFC champion. He'll probably leave tens of millions of dollars on the table. We could say, like Conor McGregor did. We could say Paddy, like many other athletes before him. We could say Jon Jones, by the way. Jon Jones, Conor McGregor, Paddy Pimblett, their ego peaked before their athletic career and dragged them down. Their life of excess and extremes peaked before their athletic ability and shortened their career. and drag them down. So this video is simply to highlight Paddy Pimblett gaining and losing 50 pounds multiple times per year. All fun and games aside, this is a very serious health condition. Each time you do this, it's like getting knocked out. Maybe look at it like that, speak in your terms. Every time you gain this much weight, it's like getting a devastating blackout knockout. This is what you are doing to your body. And you as a fighter know you get clipped, 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 and you eat them. All right. You eat them. And that's what Paddy can do right now. Paddy can eat shots. But we've all seen athletes, and I'll point to TJ Dillashaw as being one. We've seen athletes who have good chins one day get put out cold with a glancing blow. TJ Dillashaw moved down to 125. The extreme weight cut took Dillashaw's chin away from him. And as an aside, likely the 2-year layoff for Dillashaw was beneficial for his long-term ability. He didn't take an additional 2 years of cumulative damage in close proximity to the time he got put out cold. But for Paddy to gain and lose that 50 pounds so many times, you are doing irreparable harm to your body that you will not get back. You might make weight for this next fight. You might make weight for the fight thereafter, but you will go through a training camp where your body no longer responds like it once did. The weight doesn't come off as fast as it once had. You don't quite feel the way you once felt. Small shots begin to feel and affect you like big shots. This is an opinion. This is not my opinion. This is fact. We all know this. And to see Paddy go up and down and up and down and up and down and brag about it and get so much media attention about it bothers me, because this is what I do. And I know the science and I know the health history, and I talk to the athletes and I see what happens in their careers. Like I said, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I've known athletes before they had their first practice, through 30 fights of their career, and then after retiring, after multiple fights inside the UFC. And I know the list of regrets. Not one UFC athlete has ever said, I wish I didn't take such good care of my body during my fight career. But nearly every single UFC athlete I've ever spoken with after their career has all said, man, I wish I took better care of myself. I probably would have won that last fight. I probably would have gotten to that next big contract. I probably would have won the world title. Who knows what my life would have been had I just taken better care of myself. I appreciate you guys all for being here. So what do you think about this? What are your thoughts? Am I wrong? Am I the old man screaming at the clouds? Or is this just a cautionary tale from an experienced professional just sharing some wisdom to the current generation, which is being led by Paddy the Baddy Pimblett? And I wish him the best. I watch him fight. I want to see him do well. I want to see him create a dynasty. I want to see him become the next GSP in his own way. I just don't see that happening.